What is up, YouTube? Big news today. Today we are going to film our first episode of the ABC podcast. I've been looking forward to this for months. Finally was able to get some time to really crunch everything together. The room has still got a little bit more work to do. Got to hang up some photos, put some shelves up, but we're going to get there. But enough of me rambling on. Let's jump into the episode. I can't wait to go over these topics with y'all today. Let's get into it. Alright guys, with that out the way, let's jump into some of these topics. We got some Marvel and some Sony topics today, so I kind of want to go over what's been going on, what to look forward to. Let's jump into this. Number one, Avengers Doomsday is coming. Robert Downey Jr. is Doctor Doom, the man, the legend, the absolute best villain that there is in Marvel, in my opinion. He's going to helm that. He's going to do an awesome job. Everyone knows him as Iron Man, Tony Stark. I'm not sure how they're going to introduce him into that role, but I am excited because Marvel they're pretty good with creating their own story and pulling it from the comics. So I think they're going to do a good job. You got the Russo brothers coming back to write that movie, and I do see it. I think it's going to be $1 billion film. You could argue it could be a $2 billion film. It's crazy, but that's not the biggest thing I wanted to talk about with that movie today. Today, I wanted to talk about the reports coming out of Hollywood Reporter and Deadline, that Chris Evans is reportedly coming back for the film. That shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. You know, you got Robert Downey Jr. coming back, and then you have Chris Evans. They are the two faces of Marvel. They've been carrying the franchise for years. They're the cash money cow. Why wouldn't you have both of them in there? Now, the big question is, what is Chris Evans going to do when he comes back? Is he going to be Captain America? Is he going to be like he was in Deadpool? Is he going to be in, Johnny Storm? Who's he going to be? Logically, you would think he'd come back as Cap. But don't you think that would conflict with him as far as Sam's Captain America? Some people have said that. I personally don't believe that. I think it's going to be great because you got different Spider-Men. You're going to have probably different Thors. That's going to be an interesting thing to see. So I do believe that them bringing him back is going to not only set off the box records as far as money goes, but I think it's going to really help with the story. I do think Marvel has been kind of missing that. They keep introducing, all these new characters, giving us all these new people, and then they're just like pumping out content, and it's like, it doesn't make any sense. The stories aren't good. You're putting out too much. Whereas when Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr., even Chris Hemsworth at the beginning, the stories were excellent. And that's not to say all the stuff was perfect. Thor, the second Thor movie, that movie was terrible. You can't really argue with that. But compared to all this new stuff that they're putting out, it's pretty bad. So I do believe bringing characters like Robert Downey Jr. back to be Doctor Doom, and then, in some comics, it's always said that Captain America was really a Hydra agent. So who's to say they won't bring Chris Evans back in one of those roles? Now that would be pretty cool, seeing Sam Wilson's Captain America fight Steve Rogers as a villain. So I do believe that would be pretty cool. But other than that, we just got to keep seeing what comes out. That movie's going to be here before you know it. So I'm looking forward to seeing it. And when more news comes out, I'll be here to report it, and we'll put it in our next thing. But I want to know what y'all's thoughts are on Chris Evans coming back. Leave your comments down in the comment section. Let me know who he's going to come back as. Is he going to come back as Steve Rogers? Is he going to come back as Johnny Storm? Is he going to come back as somebody else? Let me know what you think. All right. With that down, let's jump on to this next one. So I want to talk about Kraven the Hunter. So today, for me, is game day. I'm going to go see the movie today. So with some of the reviews I'm seeing mixed reviews. I'm seeing people that don't like it because it's rated R, and I'm seeing people who love it because it is. And then you've got other people who are just like, well, Sony hasn't been producing anything good for like years. The only good movies they've pumped out is really the first Venom movie, and then Into the Spider-Verse. Everything else, Madam Web, Morbius, things like that, the movies just haven't been good. So there's really not a lot of hope for this Craven movie. But the movie is rated R, and the trailers have been phenomenal. Me, I'm holding out hope because I watched the first 8 minutes of the movie that was released on YouTube or social media, and I loved it. I was hooked the whole time. And I do like Aaron Taylor Johnson too. I think he's an excellent actor, and I think he's going to play the role as best he can. And the dude is jacked. He is what a typical superhero really looks like, which he's going to be an anti-hero, but besides that, he really looks the part. My only issue with these movies is that they're making these villains out to be heroes. I don't think the general public wants to see that. I think they want to see a villain be a villain. Not every character has to have hero type tendencies. You can make the storyline to where, well, the guy that plays the villain was a good guy before he turned evil. That's typically how it always works. But don't sit here and make them be like sympathetic towards the people that they're hurting or killing or anything like that. Make the story make sense. At the end of the day, you've got a villain fighting a villain. So a lot of times that might turn off the crowd that's watching that. Like you want to see these villains come into themselves. Like they're making out like Craven. Like I'm going to see him, and going into this movie, I know he's a villain, but going into it, they're making him sound like he's a hero. Like he needs to be the villain role. Now, I've also heard from different outlets that this will be the last movie in the Sonyverse. And I can see it. I really do. With Marvel and Sony, like they need to strike an agreement that is just going to let Marvel take over these movies and Sony gets the cut. But we can't always have everything we want, and it's never that simple. So, obviously, Marvel has done an excellent job with the Spider-Man character. And Sony did it one time too, because I don't really count the Tobey Maguire and the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, because to me, those were good movies. Those were excellent movies. Spider-Man 2 is still the greatest Spider-Man movie ever made. Don't care what anybody says. But as far as these Elseworld stuff, like Sony's been dropping the ball. And it makes you kind of nervous going into some of these other movies because Marvel's been dropping the ball. So like, besides Deadpool, what do they have? Shang-Chi was all right, but that was what, 2-3 years ago? Come on, like we're getting like I think Marvel and Sony have gotten away from what worked. And I do think going into these next coming years, it's going to get better. Like next year, you got Thunderbolts and Captain America coming out. I do think those are going to be excellent movies. The trailers for both of them look pretty damn good. So we're going to see kind of what the transition looks like going into these new movies. And I can't wait to see it. And so as far as what we're going to do for the Sonyverse, I do believe it ends with this movie, but I do hope it goes out with a bang. I will have a live reaction of that after the movie tonight, so stick around for that and let me know what you guys think. But other than that, that's all I've got about Sony and Craven. What do you guys think? Are y'all going to go see the movie? Are y'all excited about the movie? Not really? Let me know what y'all think. Whenever you do go see it, put your comment down in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think. But other than that, today I have kind of a wish list topic. So it's kind of what I want Marvel to do. And we brought up Chris Evans earlier. I do believe instead of bringing him back for a Avengers Doomsday, I think I am going to say what everyone else is thinking. Why can't we get a series of Chris Evans as Captain America going back to bring all the stones back in time? A 6-episode, hour-long episodes of him bringing everything back. He can run into Kang. There's so many opportunities you can do with that kind of series. I think it would make more money than you could ever think of. I think it would get viewership like you have never seen on Disney Plus. Like some of these, series, like they get views, but like they're just not. It's all new faces, and everyone's skeptic of it. Like someone like me, like I watch every episode, but I got friends who say, you know what, I'm just gonna wait till they all come out. That doesn't help Disney. Like if you binge it all in one day, that doesn't help the viewership. It's like, okay, well, yeah, they watched it, but they didn't watch it when we were putting it out. You put something like this out, I think everyone is going to want to see that. And I can't stress how much I really, really want Marvel to do that. But it's a wish list. So other than that, I want to know what y'all's wish list is. I want to know what y'all want Marvel to do. Or anything. DC, whatever. It can be whatever movie you kind of want. That's why I call it a wish list topic. It can be a wish list for any movie, any series, animated, it doesn't matter. Let me know what you guys think. If y'all have enjoyed this content, please let me know. If you have any topics you want me to talk about on the podcast, leave them down in the comment section down below. I appreciate you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And until then, I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good one, guys.